No boot hill? No problem. Gamers, you probably tried to pull on Boot Hill's banner to get your nice, clean, supreme physical DPS, and you just didn't get them. You either lost your 50 or you didn't have enough summons to get them because you've summoned for Robin, you summoned for Adventurine, and now you're just plain out, or like I said, you missed your 50. Couldn't be me, gamers. I won my last couple 50s. That's what I get for being a dick. But I don't have Boot Hill either. I might have Argenti, but he just doesn't make the cut anymore, gamers. So that's why we're making today's video, because I had to find teams to use that don't involve using Boot Hill. And since I didn't get Boot Hill either, I had to find alternatives to fight these physical weak enemies. And there's a lot that goes into fighting physical weak enemies, because not all physical enemies are weak to one type. And not only that, there are multiple different options of DPSs that you can choose from. But in today's video, we'll be going over 2 teams, one more pay to win, one more free to play. Click the timestamps if you don't care, and at the end of the video I'll be talking about other alternatives you can run as well. So gamers, like I said before, you have to find alternatives. And what do I mean by this, right? If we take a look at this chart on screen right now, this will show the comparison of all the physical weak enemies in the game and what other weaknesses they're also weak against as well. And if we look here on this chart, the #1 most comparable element here is imaginary. And that's so funny that it's imaginary, right? Because basically everyone that started before this patch got a free doctor ratio, and Boot Hill is the counter to that because he is physical. So that being said, let's hop into our first team now. It's a comp that I've loved to use since its inception. Since Dr. Ratio came to the game, I've been praising its graces. It works so well. It's actually one of my favorite teams in the game, and it's gotten even better with the addition of Robin. And you're gonna see in the background the full gameplay that I recorded with this team. And let me know in the comment section down below, guys, do you like my face in the corner down here more? Up here where it's at right now, yippee? Or just off the screen altogether? I have feelings. Don't say the last option, please. So let's go ahead and break the team down now, guys, what it consists of and why it works and everything like that. Starting off with the build of the team first. You already know Dr. Ratio, he needs crit rate, he needs crit damage, he needs speed, he needs attack percentage, he needs some effect hit rate, he needs a lot of stats, and he might not be the easiest character to build, but I think one option here could be alleviated from him. Either if you run a Robin on the team, which increases his attack, or you run a Ruan MEi on the team, which increases his weakness break efficiency, and on top of that, increases his damage output altogether. And either of these 2 support characters really help him out. But hopping into his build, I use Worrisome Blissful. I use my Topaz Light Cone here. Now, this light cone is nice. It gives crit rate, crit damage, and a follow-up attack bonus. Now, you don't have to run this light cone. This just gives me free stats and free crit value. Other options you can run here is if you have Dr. Ratio signature light cone, you can run that. If you have Zila signature light cone, you can run that. If you want to run a free play light cone, you can run Cruising in the Stellar Sea as well, because it does give free crit rate. It just depends on what light cone you have, what stat you need to focus on more. The relic set I'm currently running on is a 4-piece Pioneer with a 2-piece Glamoth. Like I said, speed is an important factor here, but you don't necessarily have to run Glamoth here. You can actually run Salsato here, which has a lower crit requirement to actually get the threshold of doing extra follow-up damage. I run Glamoth because I don't feel like farming for Salsato at all, but it will help you with the crit rate, especially if you're running another light cone that doesn't give crit rate. And here are my current stats for my Dr. Ratio. 61% crit rate, 184% crit damage, 140 something speed, 3k attack, and yeah, basically there you go, guys. That's all you really need to know about my Dr. Ratio. Let's go ahead and talk about my Mr. Luka now, which will have the exact same build for both teams we talked about today. He is going to be running Break Luka. I love Break Luka. I think this is the only way he should be ran, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, guys. He's running 132 speed, which is, yes, a low speed, and technically Ruan MEi can bump him up to higher speed to get over this threshold. I use him at this speed, and he was completely fine for me, though in the background you will see him getting CC'd a lot. Good job, Adventurine. Remember when I said that Adventurine would still get your unit CC'd at even at 50% effect res, and no one believes me? Well, they're getting CC'd, buddy, okay? It does not nullify the CC, guys, okay? That is something you have to be mindful of. And with this team, to make it run the most efficient way possible, you want to have Luka breaking the enemy so you get fat bleed procs. But with Robin on the team, that doesn't matter too much. We'll get to her in a second, though. Now, as far as the build I have here, he is running currently 209% break effect. Why? Because he's running Break Luka, like I mentioned before, and I think you should know as far as what else we're running on the team here. Hopping into the light cone, running Solitary Healing. Why use Solitary Healing? It gives a massive break effect bonus. It also is going to be increasing the dot damage you do. That means if you use the ultimate move and then you break the shield like very quickly after, that dot damage is going to be increased a lot, okay? And also gives some energy back as well when you kill enemies. I don't really look at that too much because you're normally facing elite enemies, and that's the ones you're mainly focusing on, so you get 6 energy if you were to kill them, but the main part here is the break effect and also the extra dot damage that you're going to be dealing. I'm running a 4-piece Thief of Shooting Meteor. Now, you don't have to run 4-piece Thief of Shooting Meteor, right? You could run 2 Watchmaker's Legacy and 2 Thief of Meteor. The only thing you're losing is 3 energy extra from breaking the enemy shield. So if you have a broken set, you can definitely run that over this set. I just don't have that right now. I've already farmed this set out for him, so it's going to work completely fine for me. As far as that planner sets go, I just want to run Talia the Bandit Tree. If you guys want to see my full build though on Luka and how I think he should be ran, go check out this video right here, guys. I made a perfect in-depth build guide for Luka Babuka. Please go check it out and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, guys, I do like to make build guides on 4-star characters and talk about why they're so good, and also shit on all the 5 stars coming out. So if that didn't sell you, then yeah. Okay, cool. And then finally, he's E6. You kind of need him E6 for this. I'm not going to lie, guys. E6 does bring out a lot of his potential. Not necessarily as much in this team as it does for the next team we're going to talk about, but E6 does help him out a lot in terms of damage. Now let's talk about Mr. Robinson. Okay, now my Robin is absolutely kind of cracked, okay? You don't need 170 speed like my Robin has, okay? You only need around 121. I like to prove the masses wrong, okay? I like running my Robin fast just to rub it in people's face so when they see my Robin running 170 speed, like, what the fuck are you doing, you two? Because I want to. I love my Robin being fast, and you guys can't tell me that it's not good, okay? I will never take that copium. Anyways, guys, as far as the stats here, 3,700 attack. There are a couple more nodes I can unlock to get more attack out of her. Obviously, as far as light cones go here, guys, I'm running her free-to-play light cone, which increases her attack and also increases her damage dealt by 30% when using her ultimate move, which basically means her little attacks. Her little attack she does, extra attack she does, do a bit more damage, but the attack is the big thing here to really maximize the attack you're giving to the rest of the team. I'm running a 2-piece Musketeer, 2-piece Prisoner with the Pinnacle set to make sure we're getting as much energy regen as possible. First of all, the reason I like her on this team better than Ruan MEi in certain circumstances is because it provides a more well-rounded team, right? You don't necessarily have to rely on one source of damage over the other. Kind of makes you able to DPS with Mr. Ratio better because it does give free crit value to him. On top of that, it's giving an attack buff to the whole team, advancing everyone's action forward as well. So if you time it up properly with Mr. Luka Babuka, you could technically break the enemy shield, do a rising uppercut or whatever, right, with his basic attack after that, then use Robin's ult, bring everyone back up, and then do a bleed reproc again, and then they take the bleed reproc on top of that. The good thing about Robin here is the attack, because attack will affect how much bleed you're actually going to put on the enemy, and even though you're losing some break by not running Harmony MEC, which I tried by the way, it doesn't really work too well because Dr. Ratio's damage plummets into the ground. But by running Robin, it kind of makes you not have to break as much with Luka, though breaking is optimal. I got CC'd a lot, so he didn't break too much, and we still beat it within 20 cycles, so that was absolutely a-okay good by me. But like I was saying, guys, another option you could run here if you don't have Robin is Ruan MEi. She's probably gonna be getting a rerun next patch comes around, okay? So if you want to pick up Ruan MEi, do that. If you already have Ruan MEi and you don't have a Robin, then slap her on this team here. Just know that you're probably going to have to be focusing on Luka breaking, right? I think that is the best thing to do when she's on the team is you want the break character to break the enemies, right? He is the designated breaker, so make sure he's breaking the enemy. Honestly, Adventuring kind of fucks the breaking up sometimes because he'll do a follow-up attack and break the enemy's shield when they're like at this much left. So it's kind of scuffed if the enemy hits you, right? Okay, but that's out of the way, right? A basic breakdown of how the team works, guys, is focus on breaking with Luka, have Dr. Ratio come in and get their weakness down super low. Just do some massive damage with him, and also Luka does some pretty massive damage himself. He's hitting over 100k basically every single attack if you're breaking the enemy, so that's really good, and then you can just get so much damage out with bleed anyways. But guys, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the team right now that you might have been waiting for if you're a free-to-play player. The free-to-play team that uses Mr. Luka Babuka, right? Because, like I said, no BOOTHILL, no problem. Luka is the solution. And another solution is you guys subscribing to the channel because you might have made it to this point in the video or got scammed by clicking that timestamp. Subscribe to the channel. I like shitting on 5-star characters. I like pushing up the 4-star characters and showing what they can really do. So if you like stuff like that too, hit that subscribe button, gamers. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about our free-to-play team right now, which is going to be consisting of Ruan MEi, which you guys didn't technically have to be run here, Harmony MC, a sustained character, and Mr. Luka Babuka himself. Now, I really quickly want to touch on that support thing I talked about. Harmony MC is a must here. You want Super Break on the team. That is going to unlock so much more of Luka's damage. You want him to be breaking as well. You want Luka to be breaking so you can get the bleed procs off, and you have a fun time and dandy day, right? The reason I like running Ruan MEi here, I think it's pretty obvious. She increases break effect and weakness break efficiency. On top of this, it gives Luka a speed buff, which is actually really important for his kit, because like we talked about in the wax session, guys, he's running the 2-piece bandage reset for the planner set, meaning you need 145 speed to really get the extra break effect out of him. So guys, that's why Ruan MEi comes in clutch here. She helps him out so much, but like I said, you don't necessarily have to run her here, right? You could run maybe a Ting Yun here, because Ting Yun gives attack as well, which is really nice. She'll give energy back to him to get his ultimate up more frequently, which means more shield breaking on the enemy overall. And then also other things you could run here. Asta gives attack buff and speed buff, so you're also able to get this break effect off, but they are far inferior options here, guys. Now don't come at me in the comment section and say, this is not free to play, it's running Ruan MEi. I don't want to hear your bullshit, okay? Running one limited character in a team with a basic bitch like Cant does not make a team not free to play, okay? This is like come on, you're telling me you haven't done any summon unlimited banners since you've been playing the game? You're out of your fucking mind. Anyways, guys, that's all my little rant here. I know people are gonna be in the comment section, that's not free to play, what the fuck, bro? Anyways, let's get back to the build now. My Ruan MEi is pretty cracked, guys. I did nerf her a bit though in this testing in the gameplay you see in the background by putting Mesh and Cogs on her at level 60 at that. Mesh and Cogs is a really good light cone for her, a completely free to play option. Just get the S5, put it on her, it works well. Now, hopping into her stats here, guys, she is going to be having 160 speed with the added break effect of 153. She does get up to 180 with the extra effect she gets when she's in battle, so you don't really have to worry about that. Just focus on getting her 153 break effect. If you don't have her high enough speed or whatever, then you might want to add some break effect on there. Right now, with the set that we're running with our Harmony MC, which we're going to talk about now, you can actually put less break effect on your Ruan MEi, even though it will drop her damage down. You really want to be focusing on break effect for all of your characters here, because Super Break and Harmony MC is the driving force of your damage here. You want to be putting as much damage on them as possible. Also, there are other reasons why Ruan MEi helps on the team, which I'll talk about in a little bit here, but Harmony MC, guys, I am running on Harmony MC right now. The light cone, I guess you should technically be running on Ruan MEi, which is Memories of the Past. It gives her extra break effect. It gives her energy whenever she hits the enemy, which means she can get her ult up. I have 100% ult uptime right now. Go check my build guide video out on Miss Harmony MC to see what I'm actually running on her. As far as Eidolons go, I have them E1 right now. You can get them to at least E4 just by doing exploration and quest and Penacony. I'm just too lazy to do that shit. So they would become much better at E4, giving more break effect to the rest of the team. E6 will come whenever the new patch comes with more story and you can finally get the last Eidolon. Anyways, guys, why is this team efficient? Because it relies on super break damage. One thing I did also want to mention here is that Ruan MEi is really good here because of the fact that she can actually slow down the amount of time that people are weakness broken. So that means enemies will be weakness broken for a larger amount of time, because whenever they come back up, they boom, go back down and go back in the actual order, right? And with Miss Harmony MC here as well, you're increasing the amount of time that they're broken for as well by 30%. So overall, you're just keeping the enemies down for as long as possible and just trying to keep up as much damage as possible with super break. Now gamers, I did mention other options you could run here. I'll throw up the chart here again to show you what different types you can run here are, and I'm sure you noticed that fire is on here. And with that being said, that's going to come to this portion of the video. A giveaway time! We're doing a giveaway right now for Firefly, guys. How do you enter that giveaway? By subscribing to this YouTube channel. I've said it 3 times this video. Hit that subscribe button. You really want to win this free Firefly, right? She's free fire damage, and honestly, a lot of units pair up with fire damage with physical weakness. So this could be a great opportunity for you to get revenge on BOOTHILL and get a free Firefly by subscribing to the YouTube channel, joining the Discord, and then hitting the button in the Discord to actually join the giveaway. Anyways, gamers, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, like. If you didn't like, dislike. And then I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? I'm sorry for trolling. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!